backstory on this car is that it's an '85 C4 Corvette that was left for dead in the desert and flooded.
It had that worthless Crossfire 350 V8 in it, but what made this one pretty cool is that it had a manual transmission, which is a 4-speed with a Doug Nash add-on overdrive on the back.
We cut this thing up until it only weighed 2,350 pounds, and it's been sitting ever since.
It got wasted. It got rained down the engine. There was weeds growing through it. Our junk was junk, just turned to dust. And so we took one of our shop guys and set him to stripping every bit of plastic off the car. We gutted this thing all the way down to the bare frame. Good to go. It smokes a little. This is one of the better things we've done. As bad as this looks, there's really not that much butchery. We're starting a trend with this. People are gonna do this.
Junk buggies.
No, Vette buggies. The Vette Kart.
We could start a really unsafe racing series with these.
What's unsafe about it?
We need to go around the block.
It's working! How's the power steering?
2 fingers.
Oh man, this thing's gonna be fun. Ah, getting dirt in the eye, how about you?
Wow, the brakes are exceptional.
I bet they are. That's a good reason not to have one. This thing is so much like a Baja Bug, it's ridiculous. It's lightweight, it's got independent rear suspension, great flotation because it doesn't weigh anything. The thing just blasted dirt roads, but I had to find out, could it handle a rocky hill climb?
That was cool. Let's see your Lingenfelter Corvette do that right there.
Oh, we failed not bringing it. When we get pulled over and the cop goes, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" And they go, "Exhibition of greatness."
Yeah.
Okay.
Gunshots. All right,
All right, time to go.
This is a good Corvette. It's nuts. Look, all that extra grip on the skid pad is kind of wasted because while I know I can almost always go faster, I won't. I can't see far enough around any of these corners to actually take advantage of this grip.
Right, because there could be a cameraman or a bear or a coyote or a deer.
But it's nice to know that I have all that safety margin because I can't actually get to the limit. And you know, when you're approaching the limit in this car, unlike the Z06, the steering's still responsive, the back end is still stuck. It doesn't bite you.
Right, the Z06, you know, again, is a car that is terrifying at the limit. And so up here in the back of your head, you're always like, oh, it's gonna bite me, it's gonna bite me, it's gonna bite me. This car, different. The Grand Sport, you're just confident. Like on the skid pad, we know how this thing is at the limit. Controllable, easy, no problem.
And listen, the Z06 has a whole bunch more power, but it's not about that. You turn into a corner with that off power or on maintenance throttle, and you're getting closer and closer to the limit. You're fine, you're fine, you're fine. Boom!
Yeah.
It explodes sideways and you can't catch it in time.
And a lot of people are gonna say, oh, it's just the power. It's not just the power.
No.
That power is there to remind you, hey, by the way, buddy, you're sitting on a bomb, which can go off at any time.
Boom!
You can induce it, I can induce it, you know?
This car doesn't try to kill you when you're not asking it to.
Right.
Like the Z06 does. This is really, really fast and good.
This is the best C7 Corvette to date, without question.
Easy.
And it's so much fun. I mean, it's fun to drive.
That 911 is so good at so many things. One of the things it's not great at is being fun.
yeah, you know, logically it probably would make more sense to have the 911, but you'd be driving that daydreaming about this car.
And the fun thing is, like, all the 12-year-olds love this, love the way it looks.
Oh,
all the
look
rest
at
of
it.
the
Yeah, listen to it. Yeah! Fabulous. I mean,
but while it appeals to the inner 12-year-old, it also appeals to the inner 40-year-old with a bank account who can afford this car because it's a good car now.
it is. And you know, look, this head-to-head is much closer than I thought it was going to be.
Way.
The last time I was at Willow Springs in a Corvette, it was the Z06 650 horsepower monster. And it was diabolical. Now we're in the Grand Sport, and it's a much easier car to drive fast. The speed is not threatening. This car's got a great balance of its handling grip and its horsepower. Whereas the Z06 feels a little overpowered, the Grand Sport feels just right. Woo! Compared to the 911, one thing sticks out right away. The Corvette obviously has a much stickier tire. This Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 is as close as you can get to a race tire for the street right now.
Hats off to Porsche for a shocking amount of engineering excellence.
However, since the cars were so close, we agreed we'd settle this head-to-head on the track. And even though that pretty blue thing is the fastest 911 we've ever tested at Big Willow, the Corvette beat its time by more than 3/4 of a second. For perspective, every car that's lapped Big Willow quicker than this Corvette has had a 6-figure base price and more than 600 horsepower. You could say that this Grand Sport is an incredible value, but really it's just an incredible performer at any price.
And there you have it. The winner of this head-to-head is the 2017 Chevrolet Corvette Grand Sport. May this battle never end.
Now further back we have functional side skirt, and this guy right here, this cooling feeding duct is pretty interesting. These feed the diff and some other components back in the end. It's actually a combination of a NACA duct and a ram air effect, because at one point there's sort of a NACA air duct effect happening at one side of it and a ram air effect happening at the other. This wasn't a design piece. They actually made this in the wind tunnel, and when they looked at it, when the engineers looked at it, they said, that's not gonna work. What's wrong with this? Then they actually tested it and found out it does work, and that's why it sits here the way it does. This is the supercharged 6.2-liter LT4 V8 that makes 650 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. Why is this engine so incredible? Well, there's the power and the torque, like I just mentioned, but also it's a pushrod engine that has cylinder deactivation and direct injection. It's amazing, amazing mix of technology. Now, some of you may be wondering, why aren't they doing a quad cam engine and so on and so on? Well, when you look at this engine and you realize that having the cam in the block and having push rods means you don't have all kinds of crazy valve train to get in the way of other things like a supercharger. It means you can keep a really low roof line. Having a really compact engine means you can keep a really low hood line. And that means you have good visibility, a lower polar moment, better weight balance in the car, and on and on and on and on. The advantages are numerous, and this engine is a real treat. Interestingly, Chevy originally wanted to do a big displacement, high revving engine, but couldn't make that one hit emissions targets. So this is what they ended up going with, and it's looking pretty awesome. And it's so much fun to lay onto the throttle. But if I'm honest, the thing that really impresses me most is the cornering forces and the G-forces and the feeling in your stomach when you're pressed up against the seat back or the sides when you're going around a Mission corner. All you really need to do is think of the Z51 and then turn the dial up a lot more. Because it drives very similarly to the Z51 Corvette, only you're going so much more faster everywhere. One of the traits of the ZR1 from last year was fear. It was a sketchy car to drive quickly. You felt a lot of concern over the rate of speed you'd be going through some corners because it was so fast. This doesn't have that fear. This doesn't give you that sense of worry. It doesn't, I guess, move around like that car would on occasion. You can jump in this car, and instead of feeling threatened that you're accelerating the red line, you can enjoy it more instead. First impressions of this thing are pretty awesome. This thing offers a performance value with, so far, not many downsides. 650 horse, 650 pound-feet, incredible performance for not a ton of money. It's kind of nuts.
The only number that matters is what this car does here at Big Willow.
No. Johnny, it's not important at all what this car does at Big Willow.
Huh?
What's important is what that car does at Big Willow.
Yeah, obviously, the ZTK, the high-wing car, that car.
The big dog. Jethro, quit talking. Let's go find out.
Oh, God, I've not been looking forward to this.
Yeah, you're doomed, mate, you're doomed. He's gonna make you puke.
Randy,
You're gonna
be
love
gentle
it.
with me.
You're gonna
please.
love it.
I'm jet lagged. I've got children. Okay, Randy, so we seem to be setting new lap time records on this track every other week at the moment. So we had the McLaren, which was just an absolute rocket ship. And then we had the GT2 RS, which was a rocket ship and a race car combined.
The GT2 RS put the power down, and it had plenty of it.
Yeah.
But it was so beautiful the way that car would just gain traction under power.
Yeah.
The McLaren, they finally got the car to stop, and it's light, and the 720 is nutty fast. It's nutty fast down the straightaway. These cars are going to be hard to run with.
Yeah.
But the Corvette seems to have the specs to do it. I'm an American.
Yeah.
This is our sports car. I want this car to win.
Yeah, let's dump me out and see just how quick this monster is.